Hi folks, welcome back for more Let's Play Back to the Future the Game, Episode 1. If you recall, we had just been sent to go look for Emmett Brown, the young Emmett Brown, by the old Emmett Brown, only things didn't quite go as well as planned. So we need to talk to old Doc. Find out what's going
Doc.
on here.
Marty, have you found my younger self yet?
Well,
Well, I met your younger self,
Great.
and I gotta say, you're kind of uptight.
What?
You won't even talk to me.
I find that hard to believe. Tell me what happened.
You know, your younger self seems really dedicated to the law.
It's a facade, I assure you. I had to keep up appearances to appease my father.
I tried asking him about your rocket drill, but he says he's not a scientist.
What? What? Father.
What's he got to do with this?
In 1931, I was still deathly afraid of my father discovering the truth about my scientific predilections. So I carefully kept them under wraps, practicing science at odd hours, away from his prying eyes.
That sucks.
It sucked a lot. Fortunately, I eventually stood up to him. But right now, my younger self probably thinks you've been sent by my father to check up on me.
yeah, that would make him tight-lipped about his
What do I
science
do to
around
convince
us.
Teen Doc that I'm not a spy?
I'm not sure.
But let's talk about the way he's muttering about
Why
scientific
does your younger self
formula.
mutter all the time?
Muttering? Why would I be muttering? I never mutter unless... the Hill Valley Expo!
The Expo?
Yes, the Expo. How could I have forgotten? In a few months, the younger me will put on a demonstration at the Hill Valley Exposition, my first public foray into the world of science. Everyone in town will be there, including a number of noted inventors who shaped my career.
So, it was a big success?
No, it was a miserable failure, but it was a spectacularly miserable failure, one which marked my transition from an amateur garage scientist into a professional seeker of truth.
What does this Expo have to do with you muttering all the time?
When I was younger, I used to relieve stress by working on complex mathematical conundrums. No doubt my younger self is working on some impossible problem in an attempt to work off cerebral steam in the weeks before the exposition. What was I muttering about?
I don't know, h to the something with an inverse of something else. I'm not so good at equations.
That's too bad. I bet if we could solve my younger self's problem, he'd be more inclined to listen to you.
There's a big thud of a hint. If we can figure out the answer to the equation, it'll help.
Let's talk about your younger self's problems later.
Okay, but don't forget we're on a bit of a deadline here.
Emphasis on the word dead. I think he has some
Doc.
other stuff to say here
Marty,
too.
how goes the escape plan?
Where have you been all this time? I missed you.
I've missed you too, Marty, but I thought it was important to let you live your own life for a while, free from the insanity of time travel.
I gotta admit, it was nice to not have my family history blowing up in my face for a few months.
Besides, I've been busy raising my own unpredictable teenagers.
So how are Clara and the kids?
They're fine, fine. Right now we're trying to decide where to send Jules and Vern to college. Clara prefers the 2020s, but I'm partial to the 1960s. I'm planning on visiting you and Jennifer in 2011 soon.
Me and Jennifer in 2011?
Oh, forget I said anything.
Where'd the DeLorean come from? The last time I saw it had been smashed to pieces by a train.
It's a fantastic story. Do you remember when the DeLorean got struck by lightning in 1955?
Yeah?
Unbeknownst to either of us, the lightning produced a temporal duplicate of the time machine, one that was tossed 70 years into the future.
What?
So
I found
that's
out
where
about
it
during
came
a trip
from.
to 2025 and recovered it just in time to stop Griff Tannen from vandalizing the time stream.
Heavy. So that DeLorean...
It's for all intents and purposes the exact same machine as the original. Plus or minus little bells and whistles I've added over the years, of course.
Interesting.
So, what were you doing in 1931 anyway?
Oh, nothing terribly exciting. Indulging in a little personal nostalgia, picking up a few rare out-of-print books to surprise Clara on her birthday, solving a historical mystery or two. The usual.
The usual. You lead a pretty unusual life, Doc.
It's an unusual universe, Marty.
God, Christopher Lloyd, you did such a good job with this.
I hate to tell you, Doc, but your last time departed display is on the fritz.
It is? So how did you find me?
I found one of Edna Strickland's shoes in the DeLorean.
How did one of her shoes get
No
in the
kidding.
DeLorean?
Einstein took it from her.
He did? How strange. Heidi almost never attacks people. Not without a good reason, anyway.
I hate to tell you, Doc,
It is?
I found one of Ed...
How did
Okay.
one of her shoes...
That's
Einstein
same.
took...
He did?
How'd you wind up in jail in 1931 anyway?
During my trip to the past, I decided to look into one of Hill Valley's unsolved mysteries.
The fire at the speakeasy.
Exactly. I thought I was safely hidden across the street. But when the fire started, there was a tremendous explosion, and I was knocked unconscious by a stray brick. When I woke up, I was here in jail, charged with arson.
That's horrible.
I know. Worse yet, I still don't know who started the fire.
Guess who I bumped into at the soup kitchen? My grandfather.
No!
Don't worry, I didn't talk to him or change his future or anything.
Good.
I wish I could, though. This era's tannin is treating him like dirt.
Don't worry. If history plays out as it's supposed to, he'll soon be out from under Kit Tannen's thumb and free to live out his life as a humble accountant with your grandma. What was her name again?
Sylvia.
Right, Sylvia.
What's the story with this kid Tannen jerk anyway?
Biff's father? By this time next year, he'll be pulling down a life sentence in San Quentin. There was even a song about it.
Wait, if Biff will be born in 1938 and Kid will be in prison,
As I recall, he escaped from prison in 1937 for about 3 hours.
that's a busy 3 hours.
No kidding.
What do you know about Edna Strickland?
Edna, we never really socialized when I was younger. She was a few years older than me, and we traveled in different socioeconomic circles. Why do you ask?
She thinks you're a hero for burning down that speakeasy. She's doing a story on you.
A story? Oh, yes, now I remember. Ask Edna, the etiquette column that doubled as a pro-temperance soapbox. She believed that the consumption of alcohol would inevitably lead to a complete societal breakdown.
Sounds like a fun gal.
You should have seen her when the hippies started showing up in the 60s. She just about lost her mind.
That would explain a lot. I know this really isn't the right time or place, but I found your notebook.
Ah, so that's where I left it. Why'd you bring it here?
Because the bank's selling off all your stuff.
They can't do that.
That's what I keep trying to tell them.
Well, you hold on to it for safekeeping. We'll deal with my financial situation in 1986 after we save me from a grisly death in 1931.
So yeah, there's that's, some interesting dialogue there that kind of explains how we got a new DeLorean and, since the old one was destroyed, and, just various backstory there. But for now,
Hang in there, Doc.
Not the best choice of words, Marty.
no, it's not really. And I've got a kitty that wants attentions. After I finish this video, it looks like I'm going to have to play pet the kitty for a while. So let's see if we can manage to find out a little bit more about this equation that young Doc is muttering to himself. And just saw him go into the courthouse, so he will emerge from it shortly. And since Marty is not a scientist,
one-dimensional harmonic oscillator, then naturally h2a multiplied by the inversion of h has to come out less than expectation value of a, right?
Marty will never remember this.
Or do we take h to stand for the Hermitian line operator? But in that case, h to the a multiplied by the inverse of a might well be equal
So,
to h expectation value, but only
let's record it. Use.
if the coefficient. Oh, think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A.
Busted. So,
How many newtons are required to
with
maintain a
that
constant mass of
information
acceleration
now at
limited by the inverse
hand,
limited at the speed relative to the speed of light.
let us go talk to old Doc.
Doc! So, Doc, does this ring a bell?
Oh, think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A.
Good grief! Is that me? I sound so...
Young?
I was gonna say intense. I forgot how wound up I used to get.
Yeah, but what are you muttering about?
Oh, that's easy. It's Ivanov's conundrum. Just tell my younger self that H equals the Hamiltonian operator.
Won't giving him the answer mess up the time stream?
Only if it turns out that reality is actually nothing more than a holographic illusion created by the interplay of subatomic particles on a vast two-dimensional membrane.
So...
It'll be fine.
Hang in there, Doc.
So, now we go find him again, and now we can talk to him and earn his trust. At least as far as he'll let trust be earned.
Or do we take H to stand for Hermitian line operator?
Will you just give me a chance?
Harassment's a federal crime, Mr. Callahan.
Maybe H equals the Hamiltonian operator.
What did you just say?
I said maybe H equals the...
Hamiltonian operator.
Yeah!
Great Scott! If H is a Hamiltonian, then H to the A multiplied by the inverse of H can only be the same as the expectation value for A. That's it! That's the solution to Ivanov's conundrum, the problem I've been wrestling with in my head all week!
I'm sure you would have figured it out by yourself in a day or two. The way you figured out how to build that rocket-powered drill.
Where did you learn so much about science?
We don't want to say planet Vulcan because Star Trek hasn't been around yet. We don't want to say we're from the future because he won't believe us and it'll cause a problem. So, you know.
Well, it's like this.
You know about my rocket power drill? Then there can only be one explanation.
What?
You're from the patent office. I confess I didn't quite know what to expect when I sent the paperwork, but I never expected this. Welcome! I'm at your service. What can I do for you?
As you can see, we have 3 choices that are all the same.
Can I see your rocket-powered drill?
Of course, of course. Naturally, it's just a scale model, but it's nearly operational. I can show it to you, say, first thing in the morning.
Nah, that's no good. I need to see a full-size model. That's fully operational. Tonight. Otherwise, we'll have to award the patent to a competing inventor, Dr. McCoy.
It can't be
Oh,
done.
it's-
I mean, it might be possible to construct a full-size working model in that time frame, but I haven't got the main ingredient for the fuel.
I'll get it for you. What is it?
190 proof grain alcohol. And you know how difficult it is to get a hold of alcohol these days.
Especially now that someone's blown up the speakeasy.
And besides, there's no way I can get off work until I've delivered this subpoena. Part of the investigation into the business affairs of Kid Tannen. Is it vitally important you see that rocket-powered drill today?
Yes. Is it vitally important you deliver that subpoena today?
Yes!
Listen, I'll help you deliver it, and I'll see to it you get the alcohol you need. It'll help you get that drill finished by tonight. Deal?
Deal. Here's the subpoena.
So, we have a new goal.
I've got to subpoena my grandpa?
It's Kid Tannen.
Hey, I just saw him at the soup kitchen yelling at Arthur McFly.
I'm not surprised. Arthur does the books for his business.
What kind of business?
That's what the DA is trying to find out.
Let's go talk to him.
No!
Why not? Kid Tannen can tell us where Arthur's hiding.
Yeah, well, he can also have us
Yes.
fitted for a Chicago overcoat.
Yes, he can. But with that, I think this is a good stopping point now that we've, hit the next... Now that we've successfully gone on to the next level of the game, so to speak. So, Next time, we'll start working on delivering the subpoena and securing ourselves some alcohol. But until then, take care everyone. See you later.